What's up, gaggers? First and foremost, I want to make it abundantly clear that I do not like anyone who Ethan Klein is suing. I also don't like Hassan Piker, I don't like Snark, and prior to this situation, my opinion on H3H3 was indifferent. I stopped watching his stuff years ago, I thought the nuke on Hassan Piker was decent, but now, with his recent announcement of suing 3 other creators, I felt the need to make a video, especially because he makes claims within it that I don't agree with on a fundamental level, and I find it odd that others are quick to side with Ethan Klein, likely because the targets are easily hated. As a brief summary of recent events, Ethan Klein of H3H3 Productions and the H3 Podcast uploaded a video to YouTube called, quote, "Content Nuke Hassan Piker," unquote. However, prior to publishing it, he registered it with the Library of Congress as a means to protect his copyright and get damages if someone violated it. Upon its release, many people reacted to the video, and now we're here months after its upload, and he's announced that he's suing 3 people who met a threshold of infringement that he set the criteria for, beyond just a purely legal basis for the suits. In this video, I'm not going to argue whether the lawsuits have merit or anything like that. I'm not even going to argue that the 3 content creators do or do not deserve it. I'm also not going to argue whether or not I believe that Ethan Klein did all this as a plot to explicitly ensnare certain critics of his, which he outright claims was not his intention, saying,
"And it was in this setting that I formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published? It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video, it's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion."
But what I am going to argue is that this action by Ethan Klein will have a chilling effect on the online content ecosystem, something he explicitly states was not his intention in his newest video titled, quote, "I'm suing these 3 creators," unquote.
I don't want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually, the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
When people use the term chilling effect, they mean it as a phenomenon where individuals or groups refrain from engaging in expression for fear of running afoul of a law or a regulation. Now, for the most part, YouTube is a pretty good place for copyright protection. Content ID exists as a tool to identify the use of copyright, and if you believe your content has been stolen or misused, you can issue a copyright claim or strike. What's pretty new to the sphere, however, is the Library of Congress bit that Ethan Klein is utilizing.
There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well, I'm happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hassan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress.
Organizations and people have been copywriting and protecting their work through this for a long time. But if you're like me and probably most of your favorite content creators, you probably never heard of a YouTuber using this mean to protect their copyright. With this method, if there is an event of infringement, one can get statutory damages and attorney's fees, according to Ethan Klein. Already having DMCA and the systems in place on YouTube and other media platforms, it's clear that what Ethan is doing, just with the Library of Congress bit alone, could have a chilling effect. Now people must worry that they'll be sued and financially ruined for reacting to a video. What's more, just because he's explicitly suing using more narrow criteria that he himself created, doesn't mean that others will do the same. In his explanation, he literally claims he could sue others and get paid millions.
The trap was set, and it worked even better than I imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now, the thing is, there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that.
This method of using the copyright system could set up many people to stare down the barrel of a cannon without realizing it, and if someone really wanted to cause harm on other content creators, they could using this method. But of course, it's within Ethan Klein's and any other American's right to register their content with the United States Library of Congress. I'm not disagreeing. However, the idea of a chilling effect is that people are afraid to exercise their rights because they're worried of legal ramifications. So, let's just say, in a hypothetical, a content creator registers their video to the Library of Congress. We now know that gives that creator a lot of ammunition to work with legally. But let's say that video they created is topically relevant and draws in the attention of critics. Critics want to react to that video, in part or in full, but simply because the original creator went out of their way to register it signifies to others, whether intentionally or not, that their content is copyrighted. And now critics may refrain from engaging in their criticism because they must now worry that another branch of copyright infringement protection could be used to target and devastate them. And that's not just with the success of the plaintiff in that case. One could argue that just the threat alone of suing is bad enough, or just the act of being sued would be enough. The plaintiff, or the copyright holder, wouldn't even need to win to cause harm to another person. That alone will undoubtedly cause a chilling of expression in the content sphere. And that's the thing. Whether or not you agree with the justification of its existence, reaction content is a part of the content creation ecosystem. Whether it be summary videos going over content, or it be live streamers watching something live with their audience. React content is here to stay, and it's been here for a very long time. Anyone who makes content that is based off other IPs, YouTube videos, or any other type of media will now face another major deterrent. At least with copyright claims or strikes, you don't have to worry so much that your life will be financially ruined. But with this method, how could it not have a chilling effect? But if I haven't convinced you yet, I'd like to explain my case more with another example while once again using Ethan Klein's words. He said he's suing Frogan because she said to watch through others.
As lazy and pathetic as her reaction is, this is not why she's getting sued. This is.
Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. First time viewer, time to watch the nuke ethically? Hell yeah. I found my way from Reddit. Hi guys, welcome Reddit people. Reddit people, Reddit people. I came from the HP Snark Reddit. Ethan is so pathetic while Hassan is in Japan. I'm bothered having a great time. Exactly. We're gonna watch it live, yes. He doesn't want people to know when it's dropping because we're all watching through other streamers. And I suggest you all watch it through other people as well.
It's the stated malicious intent to steal. They talk about watching ethically, but I learned not to steal when I was 5.
If you listen to what she says, she didn't explicitly say to pirate it or watch it in such a way that directly infringes on his copyright. The worst interpretation of what she says in that clip is that, sure. But watching it through others isn't inherently bad, especially using Ethan Klein's own logic, saying he purposefully did not list people like Asmongold in his lawsuits. So earlier on, he says that there are certain criteria that must be met or present, and that's how he selected people to sue. Asmongold is okay, but Frogan isn't because she said to watch through others. But that's not necessarily bad. Viewers could have taken those words as, quote, watch it through Asmongold, unquote, and, as was expressed by Ethan Klein, it would have been okay. So, that alone shows an issue with the logic of the lawsuit. Again, if it has merit, it has merit. But to say this won't deter other people from exercising the right to use other people's content in a transformative way is baffling. But finally, if that doesn't show to you that this will have a chilling effect, I want to say one more thing, using Frogan as an example again, that will hopefully allow you to see how this will have a chilling effect. Set aside legality or even morality, just focus on the basics of the content creation ecosystem. If I make a video on someone, that person can respond if they want. It is very typical for that to happen. What's odd about the inclusion of Frogan in the lawsuits is that Frogan was actually a target of Ethan Klein's content nuke on Hassan Piker. A decent-sized portion of it focused on questionable things she has done and other situations that Ethan Klein criticized and mocked her for. Frogan reacted to this video. Now she's being sued for her reaction. Again, if you want to argue legality or morality of how she reacted and responded, we can have that argument. But it's abundantly clear, at least to me, that this will likely have a chilling effect on content creation. He's literally suing someone he criticized for criticizing him and then reacting to his video where he expressed his criticism of her. This can, and likely will, deter others from criticizing other content creators, especially larger creators who have the funds to use the legal system against them. Ethan Klein is a massive content creator. Frogan is not, as depicted in and mocked for in Ethan Klein's content nuke on Hassan Piker.
Let me introduce you to Frogan.
Why don't you go take a trip to Home Depot and buy some rope?
She's one of Hassan's main moderators. She's leading great discourse like Ethan's Islamophobic for saying, don't kill civilians. She has zero talent. She has 100 concurrent viewers, but somehow she's always on the homepage. She's winning awards. Nobody's watching her. Nobody cares. Why is she relevant? We don't know.
Ethan Klein has the resources available to him to go after his critics using the legal system like Frogan. This alone will have a chilling effect because now, if any small creator wants to criticize a big creator, possibly even Ethan Klein, they will run the risk of him using his abundance of resources to strangle out criticism from the likes of critics like Frogan. The kicking off of this whole situation being something called a content nuke is actually quite fitting. One of the biggest reasons why nuclear war is frightening isn't just the initial explosion obliterating anything in its blast radius. It's that a nuclear winter will ensue. The fires that would rampage after detonations would use up the oxygen in the air, and the smoke and soot from those fires would pour into the skies. Then a chilling effect would occur on the planet, thus causing a nuclear winter. Sure, you can destroy your target, or try to at least. But when you use such weapons, you can cause unintentional consequences on others that are not in any way associated with you or your enemy. A content nuke was used, and now there's likely to be a content nuclear winter, causing a chilling effect on a whole genre of content that could even spread to other areas of content creation beyond just reacting. Think criticism or responses. And it's all because Ethan Klein is choosing to go on a route that scorches the earth around him, or in this case, the platforms he and his critics are on. Thank you for watching. I make commentary videos, gaming videos, and other stuff. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See ya!